What's up, everyone? I want to show you something kind of embarrassing today. Ugh, let's go back here.
Each day I pray to lapse into perfection. Yet always it falls away.
Woof. Oh man, that's not the only spot that we're dealing with, like where it's like that, where it's just straight up out of tune. Right over here as well. Let's just bump this all up just a wee bit. We can hear it a little bit better.
Was fraught with danger, yet
Oh.
the trees stood silent. I left
Save me from myself. Luckily, I can. Today, what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to jump into Logic where we are here and teach you how to tune your vocals so that you can fix any pitchy stuff in a vocal take that you may have recorded, like myself. Oh boy. Oh, this is embarrassing. This is hard to share. We are not all professional singers, but we do all want to sing. It does feel good to sing. First things first, we're going to be talking about flex pitch. Flex pitch is the tool in Logic that allows us to actually change the pitch in that sense. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to double click on this field. It's going to pop up this edit window right over here. And then I'm going to go all the way up to here. And this shows show hide flex. I'm going to click that. And then it's going to ask you, do you want to turn on flex for this track? You click turn on flex. Cool, it does its thing. And then you want to jump down here into this flex time menu. Jump down there and go all the way up here to flex pitch. Now, all of these other flex time, this is really cool because it allows you to change the tempo, change like the actual notes, the duration of notes, make them shorter, make them smaller so they'll be on the beat better. But that's not what we're doing here. We want to make our vocals sound a little bit better. So it brings out our little flex pitch. Perfect. So now we're given this kind of screen. I'm going to make this a little bit easier so we can see where the voice is. There we go. So now we have this nice visual representation of what the voice is doing when it's doing it, right? So let's follow along here, and we'll be able to see exactly. That was one note. This was one note. Woof. Oh, these are old vocal takes that I did for a demo, and yeah, it's rough.
each day I pray.
Okay. Cool. So that's supposed to be an F sharp, maybe a G flat, depending on what we're working with. So essentially, the line here is showing us what the actual kind of contour of the vocal is doing, the contour of my voice is doing. And these squares are the notes themselves that flex pitch and that Logic is able to actually pick up. So let's move up to the note that we want to clean up a bit. It's right over here. Oof. Oh, there it is. So as you can see, we have these circles that come up along the note here, right? So right here in the center on the bottom, we have vibrato. We have over here formant shift. And on this side, we have gain. Then up here, we have pitch drift, which takes this little line and moves that up or down like this. You can see that moving up and down. You can use that to help get a slightly more accurate sound in terms of the actual pitch itself. And then in the center here, we have fine pitch, right? And right over here, we have pitch strip, which handles that side. So we have the attack, the onset, and then the release over here, the decay of what's going on with our voice for just this one note. Oof, not too great. What we're mostly going to be paying attention to for this video is really just these two center boys, the fine pitch and the vibrato. Did you hear that little hiccup? All right, so we can take the vibrato here and just smooth that out a little bit. Now, if you do this too far, it's going to sound pretty not great, right? So now it's a totally straight line. It's not going to sound very human. You hear that digital artifact coming in. right? You can definitely hear that sort of that tuning, that auto-tune type of feel, but it loses the movement, it loses the clarity. So I would recommend not going further below 60 to 80%. It's still there, but it's not nearly as much as it was if we go back to 100. It almost feels like, right? Bring that down back to, let's see how it sounds at 72. It's definitely still there, but it's not as pronounced. Now, the other thing we can do here, we can even bring it down maybe to 60. Now, what's cool is that we can actually just hit this and hear the notes themselves. Right, so this feels a little bit sharp, especially compared to where there. Oh, a negative 12 falls away. Not too actually too bad on the shift, maybe a little bit sharp. I hit this one a little bit too. Just take this, bring it down if it's negative. Bring it up to 0, which is straight on the note itself. So to see how this line here is literally falling on fall, which is kind of funny, but it doesn't sound very good. You kind of hear the descent of the pitch itself as you go down. Right, so that would be a good place to take this pitch drift and just ever so slightly bring that down so it's a little bit more centered. Could even... It falls. This should be the same. Ooh, it falls. Bring this up here. There it's supposed to be. There we go. Let's hear this again. It falls. Oh man, yeah, so that shouldn't be... That's so up there that it thinks it's a different pitch. So let's bring this whole thing down just by clicking it and dragging it down. That's how you change like the full pitch of it. You can do the same thing on this little guy because it really thought these were different syllables and different... Oh, man. Look at this one. Whoop. Yep. Ooh. Oh, yes. So some of this is also the mouth shape, right? And you can kind of get away with moving some of that with the formant shift. If we bring this up a little bit... So you can see how it went up. It can be really... The formant shift is really a little bit more advanced, so stay away from that for now. It's not supposed to necessarily change the shift, but more the character. See, even there, it feels a little bit too much. Like, so this is a situation where it's really just a better idea to just straight up re-record this vocal. Not gonna lie. That's what should happen here. But as you can see, we really smoothed out this falls part where we really don't hear this, that fa. It's ever so slight, but we really heard it. It's so much smoother now. You see right there at the end, we have a lot of vibrato, right? So maybe right over here, we can pitch this up so it's a little bit more centered. Even take a little bit less out of that. It's still going to feel very intense in that sense. So this is falling. Maybe we can take a little bit of the vibrato out, smooth that out a bit, bring the pitch drift up just a hair, just like that. See how that feels right at the end. Way better. You can still you can hear an artifact there, but at this, these days, vocal tuning like this, it's almost expected, right? So having a little bit of that digital sound really isn't the worst thing. And when you're in a full mix and everything, it's not going to feel quite as intense. Let's listen to this one more time, and then we're going to look at another part where we can make the vocals a little bit better using Logic's awesome flex pitch. Yep. Definitely better, but still should be re-recorded. That's a good example of a phrase here that really should be re-recorded. All right, moving on. There's one part in particular that we heard right over here, the harmony bits. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we did. Let's make sure that is the same one we want. Oh man, yeah, okay. So what we're gonna do is the same thing what we did. We're in the edit window. We're just going to click flex time, show hide flex time, just like that. Turn on flex, boom, go to the drop down, click on flex pitch, and that's it. So you see there's nothing over here. So what's going to happen, you see the piano roll over here, kind of like it is in the MIDI, in the piano roll, right? The keyboard. So just scroll down and you're going to see where your voice is actually lying in the kind of scientific notation of music pitches there.
Danger yet, the tree.
So you can see here, there's a sort of space, right? Where there's the colored in part, and then there's a sort of translucent part inside the box there. That is showing very much just how off pitch it is. It's showing us where we do have a pitch on E, except look at this, 48. Whoa, real sharp. Here too, 48, real sharp. Let's solo this real quick. Woof. All right. So first things first that you want to do here is just bring the shift down. And just make it right at 0. Make it right at 0 there. And let's see how even just that one change, see this. Even this one, they thought this was the note before. That's how far it was. Going back down there. And you can see the line here. They actually just kind of, the vibrato line here is kind of moving down a little bit. We're gonna pitch drift that a little bit to make it a little bit smoother. Let's just hear how it is just with that fine tuning. All right, bring in our harmony that we're supposed to be in with. Wow, that's so much better. Bring that up to 48. That's where it was. You can hear the difference back to back. Man. Woof. Versus. It just feels like it locks into the pitch so much more because it actually is. So the next thing that we would do here, you can see this craziness of this line here. And again, the best option always is to get the best performance you can first things first before going in and messing with auto tuning and vocal tuning like this. So what we would do here is I would take the vibrato, bring that down a bit, right? Even that out, maybe up to like 68, and then have this form and pitch drift up here just a tad. Do the same thing here. Just want to slow that down. Maybe bring that down so it's a little bit more in line with the other thing. And let's hear that note. Is this supposed to be the same note, or is it supposed to come back up? Definitely not. That is supposed to be the same note, and that is just bad singing on my part way back when I made this. So we bring that up there, do a little pitch drift like that, chill that out a little bit. Much better. We can do the same thing here, just like that. A little bit of vibrato down. Now that is way better than it was. Let's go to the next one. You can see the same thing. Going to... Ooh, man, trying to go... We're doing another line there, going down. Let's do the exact same thing that we did before. Bring that in. A little bit of vibrato. Maybe even too much. Pitch shift down. A little bit of vibrato. This is actually okay in terms of pitch. And then we're going down here. This isn't too bad. Maybe just a hair of vibrato. Make sure that's on 0. Just like that. There we go. Same thing. Look at that. Ugh, just bring that in a little bit more. Just like that. This one's a little bit tough because this goes down so much and then goes back up. So what you could do is bring it up a tad just to give that a little bit more. That's okay. Honestly, kind of having this sort of glissando down, slide down. That's totally fine. We can keep that. Let's hear that one more time. All right, not too shabby. Let's hear that with our harmony part. So much better than it was. In fact, let's go in here, do the exact same thing for the third time, just in case you need another reminder. Turn on flex just like that. Go up here, flex pitch, we're done. That's it. That's all you have to do. So we're over here, then scroll down to find the actual boys, actual notes, and look at this. We have the same similar kind of thing that's going on. Let's turn off this one so we can hear clearly what's going on in this take, this terrible take. Better than the other one. So we're quickly doing the same thing. Right, just like that. Let's put them all at 0. And pitch shift a little bit down. So we were trying to keep things more or less in the center. You don't want it to be too much. The more you do, the bigger values you use, the more audible the change is going to be. Not in pitch, but in actual timbre, in what's going on in the voice. A little bit of pitch up there, a little bit of that. That might not be super doable. That kind of onset, I like that. That feels stylistic-ish to me. So let's keep that in. All right. And let's lock this in with here. Hear how it sounds. Now that sounds like a harmony that isn't going to make me want to throw up. Perfect. I love that. Moving forward, let's finish this up really quick. This was going to go up here, the exact same thing, just a tad bit. Let's fine tune these. If you're really pitchy, it might actually be on the wrong note entirely. That's a problem. That's maybe time for a vocal teacher. Thankfully, you can change the actual pitch itself, which is amazing. Take this pitch shift down as in center as possible, because the center is where the actual note is, the center of the note, right? Let's see how we do. Much better. It actually sounds like a harmony. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. Then we have one more over here. That's not too shabby. Let's take this. This one looks like it's a little bit up there. It's a little bit of a lower note there. I don't think I like it there. I want a full hit. Do you hear that? I'm going to do that back. Command Z, so you can hear the difference. Versus... yeah, a little bit of vibrato taken down. Same thing here, because especially back when I recorded this, man, I was having some serious breath support issues, and I was not able to give full support. And one of the things that can happen when you don't give full support like that is you can create this kind of like very fast vibrato sound, and that is not something that is usually something we want. In this case, you can really hear it, and it takes you out of the performance. At least it takes me out of the performance. So let's hear what we got here now. That is so much better than it was. Let's do the same thing up here on this one. Very nice. Oh, the whole thing, please. The whole thing. There we go. You want to make sure that you have the glove. That'll actually let you change the pitch. That's fine. Let's hear this part. Is this even supposed to be like this? Wow. So this didn't even capture it as another note entirely. That's a problem. Right there is where it's supposed to change. Okay, so what you want to do in this situation, click it. If you hit Command and then T, it'll split, it'll split the track, and it'll split this note more specifically. So this is supposed to be up, da, da. So we need to bring this up more. That's where it's supposed to be. Okay, down here. Oh, look at, oh, Jesus. Oh my God, just this, Bring the vibrato up a little bit, down to 70. Let's pitch drift this up just a hair. Honestly, these can even be joined, but we're not going to do that. Same thing with vibrato, just a little bit. Pitch drift down a tad. That's just fine. And let's hear how this is going to sound. I actually didn't quite like this necessarily, but it just sounded really... Can you hear the artifact there? That's what it's supposed to sound like. Now, what this isn't going to do for you is it's not going to make your voice like timbre or character. We can only do that with voice lessons, really. But it will allow you to smooth some things over for a performance. If you really like the performance itself, but it's a little bit pitchy, this is a great option to have. Silence. Much better. Let's hear that with the other harmony part over there. Silence. Amazing. Let's see what's going on here in the main vocals.
I needed the silence to guide me and show me my anger.
That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for checking this out. This Logic Pro pitch editor tutorial, really for beginners, just getting our feet wet if you got some pitchy vocals like I do and you want to make them a little bit less pitchy. If it's not your vocals that you're worried about and it's more what your vocals are doing, the actual melody, what's going on is what you're thinking about, check out my free guide, 7 Ways to Write a More Effective Melody. There I give you really solid tips where you can walk right through them. Every single tip, they're repeatable, and you're going to come away with a far better melody than when you started. Over 1,000 people have downloaded this thing already, way more at this point. So go grab your free copy at justwritemusic.com. There's a link down in the doobly-doo. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I'm Avi, and don't forget to be awesome.